అందరికీ నమస్కారములు. నమో నమః. శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. Today we are going to start with a new topic, Bhagavad Gita, by our Guruji, Dr. CSR Prabhu garu. We will start the session with Vande Mataram by Challa Chittibabu garu and Prarthana by Shandilya ji. Challa Chittibabu garu, please.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam, Malayaj Sitalam, Sasya Syamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram. Subrajyosna pulakitayamini pullakusumita drumadala shobhini suhasini sumadhura bhashini sukhadam varadam mataram vande mataram. Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram. ధన్యవాదములండి. Let us request Shandilya garu to chant Prarthana, please.
Yeah, good morning to all of you. We will meditate for a minute. Please close your eyes and focus on your breath. Now we'll chant Om 3 times. Om. Om. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamasravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspatana Srunvannoti Bhisida Sadanam. Om Sri Mahaganadipataye Namaha. Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dhinama Vidyavatu. Om Sri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Gurureva Gati Gurumeva Bhaje Gurunaiva Sahasmi Namo Gurave Na Guru Paramam Sisurasmi Gurohu Matirasti Gurau Mam Pahi Guru. Jnananandmayam devam nirmalaspatikakrutim adharam sarva vidyanam hayagreevamupasmahe shruti smruti purananam alayam karunalayam namami bhagavat pada sankaram loka sankaram. Sankaram Sankaracharyam Kesavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्य देवो भव अतिथि देवो भव। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ఓం గురుభ్యో నమః. ఏమంటే ఏదో మధ్యన ఏదో అన్నారు.
ధన్యవాదములండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ. Now let us request CSR Prabhu garu to start the webinar, please.
Om नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्धो सोहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। Om, dear friends, we have seen the Upanishads how the nature of the Brahman is identified with the nature of the self, capital S self. So self is the subject, not the object. When you objectify it, it is Brahman. The same when personified becomes Ishvara, that is Bhagavan or God. So that Ishvara is being explained in the personality of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita is the sum and substance of all the Vedas and Upanishads. It is, though it is a conversation in the middle of the war, the philosophical and the Tattva Jnana, the supreme wisdom knowledge which is required for moksha is available in Bhagavad Gita. So first we will do a meditative process of meditating on various divine beings. Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Jayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Yasyad Viradavaktrajya Parishadja Prashatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Samashraye Samyajnaya Kalapena Mahata Bharatena Cha Upabrumbhita Vedaya Namo Vyasaya Vishnave Vyasam Vasishthanaktaram Shakte Pautram Akalmasham Parasharatmajam Vande Sukatatam Taponidhim Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahma Nidhaye Vasisthaya Namo Namaha Munim Snigdham Buddhabhasam Veda Vyasam Akalmasham Vasam Vyasam Saraswatya Vasam Vyasam Namamyaham Achaturvadano Brahmadvibahura Paro Harihi Apalalochana Shambhur Bhagavan Badarayanaha Krishnam Kamalapatraksham Punyasravana Kirtanam Vasudevam Munim Maunim Naumi Narayanam Harim Krishnaya Yadavendraya Jnanamudraya Yogine Radhaya Rukminishaya Namo Vedanta Vedine Prapanna Parijataya Vetratotraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Saradhyam Arjuna Syadau Urvan Gitamritam Dadau लोकत्रयोपकाराय तस्मै कृष्णात्मने नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सस्तुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। आर्धाय प्रतिपादितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितं पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीमष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति अयशोकादिवर्जितः। भारतामृतसर्वस्वं विष्णोर्वक्त्राद्विनिःसृतं गीतागङ्गोदकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते। गीता सुगीताः कर्तव्याः किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिःसृतः। गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतान्यपि अकृत्यमपि कर्वाणो भुञ्जानो वा यतस्ततः। घोरं वैवस्वतस्थानं गीताध्यायी न पश्यति मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसां जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीताम्भसि स्नानं संसारमलमोचनं। श्लोकमेकं तदर्थं वा पादं पादार्थमेव वा नित्यं पठति यो भक्त्या स मोक्षमधिगच्छति। सर्वशास्त्रमयी गीता सर्ववेदमयो हरिः सर्वतीर्थमयी गंगा सर्वधर्ममयो मनुः। एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्र गीता एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मंत्रो देवकी पुत्र नाम कर्माप्येकं देवकी पुत्र सेवा। So this Bhagavad Gita is the supreme divine text, which is the ultimate essence of all other Shastras, all Vedas and all Upanishads. The Devata of this Bhagavad Gita is the Lord Krishna himself. Asya Srimad Bhagavad Gita Shastra Mahamantrasya Vedavyaso Bhagavan Rishihi Prayena Anushtup Chandaha Kvachid Nana Chandamsi Sri Krishna Paramatma Devata Ashochanam Ashocastamiti Bijam Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Saranam Rajet Shaktihi Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Ashacheti Kelakam Matchitta Sarvadurgani Matpranat Matprasadat Tarishyati Kavacham Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastamityastram Anadimadhyantamanantaviryamiti Dhyanam Jnanayajnena Bhagavadaradhana Gita Parayane Jape Vavinyogaha. Om Sri Jnanatmane Sri Krishnaya Angushtabhyam Namaha. Om Aishwaryatmane Govindaya Tarjanibhyam Namaha. Om Shaktyatmane Vedavyasaya Madhyamabhyam Namaha. Om Balatmane Balabhadraya Anamikabhyam Namaha. Om Tejasatmane Vasudevaya Kanishtikabhyam Vaushat. Om Viryatmane Gandiva Vadhanvane Arjunaya Karatala Prashtabhyam Aspat. Om Jnanatmane Sri Krishnaya Hridayaya Namaha. Om Aishwaryatmane Govindaya Shirase Swaha. Om Shaktyatmane Vedavyasaya Shikhaya Vashat. Om Balatmane Balabhadraya Kavachaya Hum. Om Tejasatmane Vasudevaya Netratrayaya Vaushat. Om Viryatmane Gandiva Dhanvane Arjunaya Astraya Phat. Urbhuvaswaromiti Digbandha. Atha Dhyanam Karakala Nidarshitatma Karakamalanidharshitaatmamudra Karikaligonatavarhivarhachudaha इतरकरगृहीत्र वेत्र तोत्रो मम हृदि सन्निधिमातनोतु कृष्णः आताम्रपाणिकमलप्रणोणमालोलहारमणिकुण्डलहेमसूत्रम् आविश्रमाम्बु कणमम्बुदलनी अव्यादाद्यं धनञ्जयरथाभरणम् अहो अग्रे कृत्वा कमपि चरणं जानुनैकेन तिष्ठन् पश्चात् पार्थं प्रणयरसजुषा चक्षुषा वीक्षमाणः सव्येतोत्रं सरसिजे दक्षिणे ज्ञानमुद्राम् ज्ञानमुद्रामभित्राणो रथमधिवसन् पातु न सूतवेषः नमो वन्दे कृष्णार्जुनौ वीरौ नरनारायणावुभौ धृतराष्ट्रसुतोन्मत्तगजारोहणवल्लभौ ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिपादितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितं पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दापत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय वेत्रतोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः वाचकः प्रणवो यस्य क्रीडावस्त्वखिलं जगत् श्रुतिराज्ञावपुर्ज्ञानं तं वन्दे देवकीसुतं सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वाचकः प्रणवो यस्य क्रीडावत्स्वखिलं जगत् whose name is Pranava Om and whose sport game is this whole universe and whose speech is entire Veda, whose body is full nothing but jnana. So we prostrate to that, the son of Devaki. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopalanandana Partho vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdhangita amritam mahat. There is a cow called 108 Upanishads and there is a milkman called Krishna who is pulling out the milk from that cow, milking out the milk and giving to the calf called Arjuna. Dugdham Gita Amrutam Mahat. That milk is Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita maintains and enjoys the highest supreme importance in the entire Sanatana Dharma, notwithstanding the Vedas and Upanishads and Puranas and Upanishads. That is because of its Yasvayam Padmanabhasya Mukhapadmat Vinisrata. It came out from the very mouth of the Lord. Therefore, Shlokam Ekam Tadardham Va Padam Padartham Eva Va. One Shlokam or its meaning or 1/4 of a Shlokam or the meaning of that 1/4. Nityam Pattiyo Bhaktya. He who studies every day with commitment, dedication and bhakti, he will achieve moksha. So this power is not there even for the Vedas. So, it all starts at the middle of the war. The first question that will arise is, why did the war get scheduled at Kurukshetra? So the answer is, Dhritarashtra expected that people who go there, holy place, Kurukshetra is one of the Mukti Nagaras. Kurukshetram Gaya Ganga Kashi, Kanchi, Avantika, Puri, Dwaravati, Cheva, Saptaite, Mokshadayaka. There are 7 cities which will give you moksha. Kurukshetra is the first. So Dhritarashtra expected when people go there, they will change their mind. That's exactly what happened to Arjuna when he went there to fight the world war to very high magnitude. He changed his mind. He said, I don't want to fight. Dhritarashtra expected the same effect on Duryodhana and others, but that effect did not come on others. It came only on Arjuna. But others are not willing to give up the fight and go. Only Arjuna is willing to give up. And so in that process of Arjuna Vishada Yoga, first chapter, he expresses his frustrations and his disinterest in killing his own relatives, his own cousins, brothers, teachers, grandfathers, fathers, equivalents. So he refused to fight. But the situation was very grave. The war is starting, and having come all the way to all preparations, if you say, I don't want to fight, if only one man says, if everybody says, fine, they can go back. No, war is cancelled. But only one man is saying, others are not. Why only one man is saying? Because he is the most worthy person in that whole gathering, and he is the only one who was able to sense. So if he alone wants to go back, it will amount to escape. And escaping is done by only cowards. Therefore, he was asked to fight by Krishna. That motivation which Krishna gave to Arjuna is a conversation, samvada, Krishna Arjuna samvada. But it is not just that, it is great wisdom. It is a capsule of maximum wisdom extracted from all the Upanishads and Vedas. Of course, the Puranas came later. So you can't say Gita is summary of Puranas. You can say Gita is summary of Vedas and Upanishads. So I'll start with the second chapter quickly, because first chapter is nothing but rejection of Arjuna, talking about the damages that accrue out of war. What all he told actually happened. The damage of war took place. Dharma was affected. What all he told has actually happened. Jayate varna sankaraha, sankaro narakayeva. The intercaste connections started happening. Sankara, varna sankara. And with that became hellish kind of situation. And even the karma kanda for the dead souls is not being done. That became whatever Arjuna predicted actually happened. But without that war, there would be no dharma established. If Duryodhana continued his rule, even today we must be suffering a lot more after 5,000 years. So Krishna wanted to put an end to adharma. The beginning of Kali Yuga, the dharma should prevail. So he destroyed through Arjuna the entire bad characters, Kauravas and their supporters, and re-established dharma through Yudhishthira's rule. And after that, we have Parikshit, Janamejaya, and the entire Chandravamsha continued for a long time. So we can say Krishna's contribution is in terms of ensuring the establishment of dharma by conducting the war and destroying the negative forces. Just like Rama destroyed the negative forces to re-establish them. Om Srimad Bhagavad Gita Dvitiyodhyayah Sankhya Yogaha Sanjaya Uvacha Tam Tatha Kripaya Vishtam Asrupurna Kulekshanam Vishidantamidam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So looking at Arjuna who is weeping and on the ground he is lying down under depression, tremendous amount of depression. So the Lord said, Kutastvagashmaramidam vishame samupasthitam anaryajushtamasvargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. What is this, Arjuna? You are doing undoable things. Klaibhyamasmagamah partha nahi tattvai upapadyate shudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktotishta parantapa. Stop this desperation, O Arjuna. Get up. Give up your mental debility. Get up. Stand up. So Arjuna replies, Katham bhishmamaham sankhe dronancha madhusudana vishubhe pratiyotsyami pujarha varisudana guruna hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum aikshyamapi haloke hatvartha kamanstu guruni haiva punjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan nachetadvidnakasaranno gariyo yadvajayema yadiva no jayeyuh यानेव हत्वा न जीविषामस्ते अवस्थिता प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः कार्पण्यदोषोपहत स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयसान् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्ते मां स्याधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् न हि प्रपश्यामि समापनजायच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य पुमावसपत्नमृद्धं राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्. So Arjuna says, I am totally encaptured by desperation, kindness and compassion. And he also expressed doubt of whether he can win the war or not. How he can fight against Bhishma and Drona and others. So he is totally covered by sorrow and misery, and he was lying down on the ground. He says, I don't want to fight. Even if I am given the entire Swargaloka Adhipathyam, I don't want to. Sanjaya Uvacha eva muktva hrishikesham gudakesha parantapa nayotsnya iti govinda muktva tushnim babhuva. I will not fight. He said this and became silent. Tamuvacha Hrishikesha prahasanniva bharata. Hrishikesha smiled at him and started telling, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Vishidantamidam was right in the center of two armies. I went to the spot. We can all go and visit. It's called Jyotisar, the spot where the holy Bhagavad Gita was delivered in Kurukshetra. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, he started giving his speech. Ashocyananvashocasvam prajnavadanscha bhashase udasina gadasuna gatasunscha nanushocanti pandita. Ashocyananvashocasvam prajnavadanscha bhashase. You are thinking and worrying about things which are not to be worried or thought of. Ashocyananvashocasvam prajnavadanscha bhashase. At the same time, you are giving a speech as if you are a great, wise, knowledgeable scholar. Because in the whole first chapter, he gave a big speech, Arjuna gave. If you are such a knowledgeable, wise man, you will not be giving such speech and you will not be thinking about things which should not be thought about. Gatasu nagatasu chanan shochante pandita. Pandita, if you are really a pandita, the panditas will not think about, will not worry about anushochanti. Gatasu nagatasu. About those who are already dead and those who are not yet dead. Which means everybody is going to die. So gatasu agatasu. Somebody who already died, and somebody is not yet died but is going to die shortly. Natvevaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadhipah nachaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayam param. Neither you nor me nor all these kings, they never stopped existing in the past, present or future. Natvevaham jatu nasam natvam na ime janadhipah nachaiva na bhavishyamaha. We shall all continue to exist in future also. Sarve vayam atah param. After this, dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhirastatra namuhyati. This is a very perplexing statement he made. You, me, and all these kings have never stopped existing. They will not stop existing. They will continue to exist. Then he says, just as on this body, old age, etc. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara. Childhood, youth, and old age as common. So also death is a common thing. The state, change of state. Tatha dehantara prapti. He has used the word dehantara. He never said maranam. He simply said another body acquisition. Dhirastatra namuhyati. A strong man, courageous man will not be perturbed, disturbed, deluded by such possibility. Matra, but you are getting perturbed, disturbed, and upset, totally devastated. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agama payino anityastam titikshasva bharata. O Bharata, O Arjuna who belongs to Bharata Vamsha, don't get upset with the sensory stimuli. Matra sparshastu kaunteya. Don't get upset with the dualities of heat, colds, happiness and sorrow. Sitoshna sukha dukkhada. They are all mischievous, temporary. Agama payino anitya tam titikshasva. Tolerate them. Tolerate your sorrow. Tolerate your misery. Whatever misery you are getting. Tolerate it. It is temporary stimulus of your senses and mind. Nasato vid yam hinavyathayantyete purusham purusharshapha sama dukkha sukham dhiram somrutattvaya kalpate. Only a person who is going to be unaffected by such sensory stimuli will be fit for immortality, will be fit for permanent eternal life. Nasato vidyate bhavo no bhavo vidyate satah ubhayorapi drishtantastvanayo tattarshibhi. A very most profound declaration, a mathematical, logical declaration that the untruth cannot be existing and the truth cannot be non-existing. Truth itself means it exists. So whatever appears to exist and disappears after some time cannot be true. Sato vidyate bhavo no bhavo vidyate satah ubhayorapi drishtantaha. Truth or existence. Sat means both existence and truth, which are both one and the same. That which is truly existing will not cease to exist at one point of time and disappear. That which truly exists will always exist. And that which is appearing and disappearing is not true existence. So what is appearing and disappearing? The bodies are appearing and disappearing. Therefore, that they are not true existence. There is something behind it. Avinashitu tad vidhi yena sarvamidam tatam. No, that which all this is made is permanent, is indestructible. It is like pots being destroyed, but the mud is remaining same. Ornaments being melted or destroyed, but gold remains same. Avinashitu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinasham avyayasya na kaschit kartumarhasi. However much you may break the pots, you cannot remove the mud. However much you may melt or deform the ornaments, you cannot destroy the gold in it. Avinashitu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinasham avyayasya na kaschit kartumarhasi. Nobody can destroy that with which all this is made. Antavanta ime deha nityasyoktā sharirinaha anasino aprameyasya tasmadidhyasvabhara. So these bodies, these shapes, names, forms are just different forms of the eternal, permanent, truthful. Nityasya uktas sharirinaha. There is something inside this shariram which is nitya, and these bodies are its forms, manifestations temporarily. That which is inside, whose forms are all these bodies, is indestructible. Anashinaha aprameyasya. It is indestructible and uncomparably supreme. Tasmadujasvabha. Therefore, so he is giving the Paramatma Tattva Jnanam. Therefore, Arjuna, stop worrying and do your duty. That is your Kshatriya duty of fighting the war. Yaevam venti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhautau na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate. He who thinks he is killing or he who thinks he is getting killed, both are deluded. Neither there is anybody killing nor anybody getting killed. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः. I, self, is neither born nor going to die. The body is born, the body is going to die. Again the body will be born, again the body will die. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः. Ajo nityah. It is unborn. The one which is unborn is permanent. Shashvatah. Purano ayam. Purano nahanyate. It is eternal, permanent. It doesn't get killed, nor it kills. Nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Only the bodies get killed. Veda vinashinam nityam yenam ajamavyayam kadham sapurusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. A person who knows the self which is indestructible, whom will he kill and whom will he get killed from? Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grhnati naro parani tadha sarirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Just as old clothes get torn away and will be removed and thrown away, and new clothes will be assumed and worn. In the same way, the self, the Jivatma, which finds this body old and torn and worn out, not fit to continue or exist, will be rejected, will be dumped into the fire or dumped into waste wood, and new body will be acquired. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. Vasa means clothes. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grunhati naro parani. Just like a man removes the torn and old clothes and assumes fresh new clothes. Same way, tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani. When the bodies become worn out with age or with damage or with disease or accident or whatever reasons, the body will be thrown out. Tadha vihaya navani grandha. तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति. Take new bodies. Samyati Dehi. Who takes that? Dehi, the one who is inside the body, who has the body, who has acquired the body, he will reject the body and acquire the body. Nainam chindanti shastrani, and that Dehin or Atman cannot be broken, cannot be burnt, cannot be wet, made wet, cannot be dried. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, nachainam क्लेदयञ्चापो न शोषयति मारुतः अच्छेद्यो यमदाह्यो यमक्लेद्यो असोष्येव च. It is indestructible, it is unburnable, and it is undryable and destroyable. Akledyo yamadaह्यो yamakleद्यो च nitya sarvagata sthadhu. It is permanent, eternal, it is all pervading. Acharoyam sanatana. It is fixed and is eternal, permanent. Avyaktoyam achintyoyam akaryoyam. It is unmanifest, unthinkable, and no changes can happen. Tasmadevam viditvainam nanushochitum arhasi. Therefore, you should not be worried. Adhachainam nityajatam nityam vamanyasenotam. Tatapitvam mahabaho naivam shochitum arhasi. Even if it is so that it is born again and again and again and dying again and again and again, even then you should not be worried, because it's a regular process. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Death is definite for that which is born, and birth is definite for that which died. Both are definite. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Tasmad pariharerthe na tvam shochitum arhasi. Avyaktaadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata. Avyakta nidhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. These bhutas, that means things, did not exist at one point of time. Then they get born, they exist for some time, then they disappear. Avyakta adini bhutani, vyakta madhyani bharata, avyakta nidhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. Therefore, why are you weeping? Ascharyavat pasyati kaschidena ascharyavat vadati. Thaiva chanya ascharyavascheva manya srunoti. Satvapyenam vedana chaiva kaschid. It is so wonderful. The nature of the self, the indestructible self, taking birth and death and birth and death of the bodies only, which are like clothes to it. It's so fantastic and surprising. Ascharyavat pasyati kaschidena. Somebody will see with surprise. Somebody will hear it with surprise. Somebody will think about it surprise. But somebody will not understand even if told many times. Ascharyavat pasyati kaschidenam. Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanya. Ascharyavascheva manya srunoti. Srutvapyenam vedana chaiva kaschid. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam. Dehe sarvasya bharata. In all the bodies, self is indestructible. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata. Tasmada pariharadham. Evam nityam. Yadruchaya chopannam. Swadharmam api chavekshana vikampitum. You cannot be deflected from your swadharma. What is your swadharma? To fight the war. Swadharmam api chavekshana vikampitum. Dharmadhyuddhachreyo kshatriyasya na vidyate. For a kshatriya, there is nothing more important than dharma yuddha. Ayadruchaya chopapannam swargadvaram apavrutam sukhina kshatriya partha labhante. Yuddhamidrisham. Kshatriyas are so lucky to get a war opportunity like what you got like this. Because once you die in the war, you will go to heaven for sure. Vargadwaram apavritam. The doors of heavens are opened for the Kshatriyas who die in a Dharma Yuddha. यदि चेत्त्वमिमं धर्म्यं संग्रामं न करिष्यति ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापं वाप्स्यसि. If you say you don't want to fight this war, you are breaking your own duties, injunction of swadharma. And tata swadharmam kirtim chahitva, you are going to break your reputation, damage your reputation, damage your duty of swadharma. And then you are going to acquire sin. Apamavapsyasi. Kirtim cha vibhutanam kadhaishyanti tevayan sambhavitasya cha kirti maranadatarichati. You will get bad name. Everybody will talk about you, that you ran away from the war out of cowardice, fear. And that bad name, bad reputation is worse than death. Death means everybody will die, you also. But getting bad name, everybody will talk about you in bad terms after you. Ayadrana druparatam manyante tvam maharatha. Yeshantvam bhumato bhutvaya sislaka. Everybody will think you ran away out of fear. You don't want to fight because you are not capable of it. Avachyavádanscha bahun vadishyante tavahitaha. Your enemies will talk unspeakable statements about you. Tasmas sarvasam. Therefore, what is worse than that? Getting bad name. Atva jitva atva praksase swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim. If you die, you will go to heaven. Swarga. If you win, you will rule this earth. What's your problem? Both ways, you are the winner. If you win this war, you are going to rule this earth completely. If you lose and die in this war, because you are not going to run away, you are going to fight. Either you die or you win. So when you win, you rule this earth. When you lose, when you die, you are going to heaven. What's your problem? Tasmad uttishta kaunteya. O kaunteya, therefore, get up, stand up. Yuddhaya krutanisteya. Be determined about the war. Sukhe dukhe same krutva labha labhau jaya jayo. Tato yuddhaya jasva. What should be your attitude in this war? Your attitude should be equanimity. Equanimous to pleasure and pain, defeat and victory, gain and loss. Sukhe dukhe same krutva labha labhau jaya jayo. Tato yuddhaya jasva. You fight for the sake of war, for the sake of your duty. Naivam papam vaps. You are not going to get any sin out of that. Esha te bhita sankhya buddhir yoge tvimam sruno. Till now I told the Jnana. It's called Sankhya also. The word Sankhya here means Jnana. Now I am going to tell Yoga. Buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyas. If you acquire that knowledge of yoga by which you can be escaping, breaking the karma bandha, the bondage of karma. Eha vikramanashosti prachavayo na vidyate svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. Even a little bit of this dharma, this yoga, will save you from tremendous fear. What is the tremendous fear? Fear of death, fear of defeat. So I am going to tell you that yoga, that wisdom, that process, that technique or technology by which you can overcome all your crisis situations. Even by practicing a little of it. Svalpamapyasya dharmasya. Trayate Mahato Bhaya. It will save you from great fears, great problems. See, all these great problems which Arjuna faced are real, but what we have created ourselves are unreal. We create our own stupid great problems by talking nonsense, talking rubbish, provoking people, provoking things, creating wars at home and in the office and out. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिरेके कुर्नन्दन बहुशाखा ह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो अव्यवसायिनां यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्ति विपश्चितः वेदवादरताः पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मानः स्वर्गपराः जन्म कर्म फल प्रदान क्रिया विशेष बहुलान् भोगैश्वर्य गतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया अपहृत चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि समाधौ न विधि. Now he is talking about an attitude of desireful action. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. It will not be appropriate for peace of mind, contemplative, a deep meditative state of mind. Because the attitude of investing and getting results. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravedanti vipaschitah vedavadratah partha nanyadasti tivadinah कामात्मान स्वर्गपरा जन्म कर्म फल प्रदान क्रिया विशेष बहुलान भोगैश्वर्य गतिं भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया अपहृत चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि समाधौ न विधीयते. So all the people who have desires in their mind, they want to achieve fulfillment of material desires, or they want to achieve the fulfillment of going to Swarga, etc. They will be doing all the karma kandas to go to Swarga, and achieve Janma Karma Phala Pradhan, get good birth and good life and enjoy things in life, etc., etc., etc. So many Kriya Vishesha Bahulan Bhogaishvarya Gatim Prati, for in return to get the wealth and enjoyments. Bhogaishvarya Prasaktanam Taya Aparta Chetasam. Those who are carried away with enjoyments and Aishwaryam, wealth, they will not have peace of mind. Samadho na vidhiyate traigunya vishaya veda nistraigunyo bhavarjuna. O Arjuna, the Vedas are made of trigunas. That means sattva, rajas, tamo gunas. The whole universe is within the trigunas, including the karma kanda and sarga and all that janma karma phala pradhan. Nistraigunyo bhavarjuna. O Arjuna, you become transcendent above the trigunas. This nirdvandvo nitya sattvastho. You transcend beyond the dualities and be permanently in the self of state of establishment within the self. Nitya sattvastho. Always happy, always eternal bliss. Niryoga-kshema atmavan. So you become the possessor of the self, atmavan. You acquire yourself, that is, you acquire atma-jnana. Yavarardhautapane sarvata sampradodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Because for a person who knows Brahman, Brahmajnana, Atmajnana, that is like an ocean, and all other material enjoyments are like small, small vessels of water from an ocean. You may take a vessel and bring out some water thinking you brought a lot of water. But however big lot of water, however big you may have achieved, is nothing compared to the ocean itself. Similarly, he who acquired Brahmajnana, Brahmanasya Vijanataha, he has acquired the ocean and all others objects. All others are acquiring objects which are like small vessels of water. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You have a right on your own action, work. You have the right to do, you have what you want to do, what you can do, and not on the result. Because the result is not in your hands. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhur ma te sangostva karmani. Let your attitude of doing your duty and work be not dependent upon the result of your action. The result of your action cannot determine your action. Because it is your duty, you do your duty to the best. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhu ma te sangostva karmani. At the same time, don't be attached to being actionless. Yogastha kuru karmani. You do all your action. Being established in yoga. Yogastha kuru karmani. Sangam chakva dhananjaya. Giving the attachment to the result only, not to the action. Sangam chakva dhananjaya. Siddhya siddhyau samo bhutva. What does it mean? It means you should be equanimous to whatever be the result. I mean, you try for IIT, you try for IAS, but you should be equanimous even if you get or you don't get. Sangam chakva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyau samo bhutva. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Yoga means equanimity. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya. Buddhau saranamanvicha krupana phalahetavaha. They are pitiable people who do things only for results purpose. Wise people who have buddhi, buddhi yukto jahati aubhe sukrita drishti, they go beyond both good and bad results of their actions. Buddhi yukto jahati aubhe sukrita drishti tasmad yoga yudhyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. Yoga means skill in action, karmasu kaushalam, being smart in your actions. Karmayam buddhi yukta hi phalam chakva manishinaha. Janma bandha vinirmukta padam gacchantyanava. Those who perform all karma without attachment to the result. Karmajam buddhi yukta phalam chakva manishna. Janma bandha vinirmukta padam gacchantyanava. They will not be born again. They will be free from the karma bandha. Yada idam buddhir vyatitarishyati. Tada gantasi nirvedam srotavyasya srutasya cha. Shruti vipratipannate yada sthasyati nischala samadho. Achala buddhistada yogamavapsyasi. Your mind which is confused, yada te moha kalilam buddhi vyatitarishyati. When it crosses over, tada gantasi nirvedam srotavyasya srutasya cha. Then you will know what is to be known and what is heard and what is to be heard. Srotavyasya srutasya cha. Shruti vipratipannate yada sthasyati nischala samadhau achala buddhi. Your buddhi, when it becomes established in equanimity, equipoise of samadhi, after getting out of the confusion state, Shruti vipratipannate yada sthasyati nischala samadhau achala buddhi tada yogamavapsyasi. When your mind is able to establish in samadhi, then you achieve yoga. Immediately Arjuna asks, Sthita prajna ka bhasha samadhistasya kesava sthitadhi kimasita prajeta. What is the symptom of such a sthita prajna who is in samadhi? Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. How does he speak? What he speaks? Sadhistasya kesava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. What does he do? Where does he go and how does he speak? So the answer is Sri Bhagavan Vacha Rajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushthasthita prajnastadauchyate. He who has given up all the desires, Rajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogata, which arise in the mind, atmanyevatmana tushtha, he who is established in the self, sthita prajnastadauchyate. Such a person is called Sthita Prajna. Dukheshvanudvignamana Sukheshu Vigataspruha. He will be unaffected by miseries, so-called problems. Sukheshu Vigataspruha, and he is not going to be exuberantly elated with pleasant happenings, and he will not be disturbed by unpleasant happenings. Dukheshvanudvignamana Sukheshu Vigataspruha. Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. He was given up his Raga, Bhaya and Krodha. Sthitadhihi Muniruchyate. He is called Muni, the fixed intellect and mind. Yes, sarvatra abhisnehastattat prapya shubhashubham na abhinandati na dveshti tasya prajna pratishtha. A person who will not react in an extremely elated manner or extremely depressed manner with events that happen outside him. That means whatever happens, he remains strong like a rock. Sthitadhir muniruchyate sarvatra abhisnehastattat prapya shubhashubham na abhinandati na dveshti. He will not congratulate, get elated and highly excited, or he will not be depressed or affected or worried with both positive, pleasant, or negative, unpleasant events that happen. Veda Samharate Jayam Ushmongani Sarvasha Indriyani Indriyas Tasya Prajna Pratishtha. Just like a tortoise withdraws its limbs into itself and remains closed like this, so also a Sthita Prajna withdraws his mind and senses into himself and remains like a rock. Vishaya Vinivartante. He is such a person that all objects of attractions of senses will just return back, revert back. They cannot affect. Niraharasya dehena rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Even his enjoyments, even his taste will be supreme, transcendental. Yatatohyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramadhini haranti prasapam manaha. Even such a person can be distracted and lost. The power of, Vishwamitra was distracted and lost. Yattohyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramadhini haranti prasapam manaha. So, dani sarvani samyamya. Therefore, Arjuna, control your mind and your senses. Yukta asita matparaha. Make them established towards me. Vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtha. He who has conquered his senses and mind is the true sthita prajna. Such a person has his prajna pratishtita. Dhyayato vishayan. Now he is explaining the sequence of downfall which we all go through. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sanganteshu upajayate. A man will start thinking about objects, say a particular object like car, like ice cream, or like a woman, or a beauty spot, whatever it is. Dhayate vishayan pumsaha. First he will think about sanganteshu upajayate. Because of that thinking, he will develop attachment. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. The moment attachment is there, he will have desire. I want that, I want that. Kamat krodho bhijayate. If that desire is not fulfilled, it will become anger. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Because of anger, he will be hypnotized. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Under hypnosis, he will lose his memory capacity. Smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha. Once his memory capacity is lost, his intellectual capacity will be destroyed. Buddhinashat pranashyati. If intellectual capacity, buddhi is lost, then the man will be destroyed. This is a sequence of events. Of course, you can say, what if my desire is fulfilled? If your desire is fulfilled, immediately a new desire will come. And the endless sequence of sankalpa paramparas will come. And if all the Sankalpa Paramparas are also fulfilled, you want more and more greed. Even if your greed is getting satisfied, then you get craze, moha. So kama, krodha, lobha, moha, and then you become very proud, pride, mada, and finally you'll have jealousy in spite of all this. Somebody is having something which you don't. Like Duryodhana's only problem was jealousy, Pandavas. He had no other problem. He had everything with him. Apuryamanacha. Ragadveshavyuktaistu vishayanindriyaischana atmavasyaiर्विधेयात्मा prasadam adhigaccha. Who will acquire peace of mind? Prasadam, only a person who is having control of himself. Vidheyatma, without raga and dvesha. Raga dvesha vyuktaistu vishayan indriyaischana. He will also enjoy the sensory objects, but without raga dveshas. Dvesha means hatred, raga means attachment, or love or grace. Raga dvesha vyuktaistu vishayan indriyaischana atmavasyaihi. Such a person will have control over himself. Vidheyatma prasadam adhigacchati. A man who is having his self in his own control will get peace of mind. Prasade sarva dukkhanam. In that state of peace of mind, all miseries will be transcended. Sarva dukkhanam hanrasyo bhajayate. Prasanna chet sahyashu buddhir vyatitarishyati. Only such a person's buddhi will be transcending. Nasti buddhirayuktasya nachayuktasya bhavana. Nacha bhavayatasyantirashantasya. What is the fun of having everything but no peace of mind? Ashantasya sukham. What is the happiness of a man who has no peace? And how will peace come? Nasti buddhirayuktasya nachayuktasya bhavana. For a ayukta, for a non-yogi, for not controlling his mind or senses, he will not get nasti buddhi, he will not get buddhi. Nasti buddhirayuktasya nachayuktasya bhavana. Such a ayukta will not get ayogi, non-yogi will not get atma bhavana. Sacha bhavayata shantihi. Without getting atma bhavana, he will not get peace. And without peace, there is no fun in life. Ashantasya kutassukham. Indriyanam vicharanam yan taratam yan manonvidhiyate tadasya harati prajnam vayugnam. A mind which gets carried away with sensory objects is like a boat getting carried away with breeze. Tasmadyasya mahabaho nigrihitani sarvashaha. So, O Mahabaho, final sum and substance is control. Indriyani indriyardhebhyastasya prajna pratishtha. Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato. This is a very perplexing statement. That which is day for everyone is night for the Sthita Prajna Yogi Muni. And that which is night is a day for the Sthita Prajna. What does this mean? Does it mean that yogis and Sthita Prajnas are awake throughout night and sleep throughout the day? No, it doesn't mean that. What it means is something else. That which is clear like daylight or white. That means worldliness. Money, running after people, getting angry, getting upset, all these negative emotions, everything is very common. That is like daytime for everyone. And wisdom, Bhagavad Gita, Jnanam, Moksham, it is not visible to anyone. It is dark. So that called like night for everyone. And for the Muni, it is exactly the opposite. He will have clarity, he will have full control, he will have full command and full mastery over this, what is impossible for others as night. Therefore, it is day for him. And what is like day for others? Worldliness, desires, money, emotions, anger, lust, greed, all stupid, idiotic pursuits. They are like night to him. They are like darkness. He will shun them. Apuryamana pratishtham samudramapa. Pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti nakama. Who will acquire peace? only a person who has no desires. Sashantima apnotya puryamana vachala pradishtam samudramabha pravishanti. Just like even though the rivers take water and dump into the sea is not going to be perturbed or disturbed. So also, he who has all desires getting absorbed into him without any perturbation or disturbance, he will acquire peace. Na kama kami. A person who has desires will never acquire peace. Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumans charati nispraha. A man who gives up all desires and still works in the world without attachment to the result, but he'll do his duty. Nirmamo nirahankaraha, without ahankaram, ego and mamakaram attachment. Sashanti. Only he will acquire peace. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha. This is Brahmi Sthiti Partha. Naivam Praptya Vimukyati. Once reached, you will not be deluded once again. Sthistvasyam Antakalepi. Even if you can reach this at the time of your death, you will be liberated. Brahma Nirvana Mrichasi. You will be reaching Brahma Nirvana. Om Tat Sat. It is Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Sankhya Yogo Nama Dvitiyodhyayaha. So the second chapter I wanted to cover today, it is the encyclopedic chapter. It covers the entire knowledge of Gita in second chapter itself. The rest of the Gita is only elaboration, expansion and explanation of the same statements given in the second chapter. So I finished my lecture today.
ధన్యవాదములండి. Thank you for giving us time for question answer session. Anybody
You can
want?
ask any question pertaining to Bhagavad Gita, any aspect you can ask.
Raise your hand. Else, I'll unmute everybody. Okay, you're all unmuted. You can just unmute yourself and speak. రమేష్ గారు చెప్పండి.
Prabhu garu, namaskaram andi. Yeah, in fact, I read this every chapter every day andi. Oka chapter is
Wonderful. So nice.
Yeah. So, kani when I try to explain it to youngsters like my son, who is 30 now, but of course, వాళ్ళకి సుఖ దుఃఖే సమయకృత్వ లాభావు లాభావు జయా జయ అంటే డోంట్ వరీ, డోంట్ సెలబ్రేట్. అదే ఇప్పుడు టీమ్ విన్ అయింది అనుకోండి, డోంట్ సెలబ్రేట్. ఐ మీన్ దిస్ గోస్ అగైన్స్ ది మన whole principles of management, like motivation.
That is a misunderstanding. Let me explain to you. They are not saying don't celebrate. They are saying don't be upset or don't be too much excited. See, it is like, suppose you got a lot. Suppose suddenly somebody told you got a lottery of 100 crores. You know what will happen? You know what will happen?
He'll get heart attack.
Yes. So that's what we are trying to avoid. We're trying to say, don't be excited. Okay.
అలాగే అండి.
That's all, nothing more. Yeah, and also, you see if suppose there's a war now, Second World War, British government has won the war, right? But was it worth celebrating? Because there millions of people have died.
Yeah, destroy.
Yeah, their own people have died. It is just a small micron difference that the winner will win and the loser will lose. Even in a race, suppose there is a race, there will be some kind of 1 microsecond or something like that difference. Even in IIT exam or IAS exam, if you lose 1 mark, you lose your seat or your selection. So does it mean that you don't know anything? See, these are all questionable things. So even in the war, who will nobody can say. Anything can happen. So maturity demands that you don't celebrate too much. Because, even the other day, when I think there was some other, I think court case in Kasi or Ayodhya, whatever, temple. Yeah, when Ayodhya temple was constructed, Narendra Modi himself told, don't celebrate too much. Because it will give a negative impact on others. If you celebrate too much that you have constructed Ram Mandir at Babri Masjid, demolition and all that celebration itself will invite negative reactions from the other communities. So even when you are worth celebrating, you should be mature enough not to overdo it. Like even in matches, cricket match or football match, both the loser and the winner both will be given the awards. You realize this? They will be given award. Even in the government, the opposition leader will be in the cabinet committee. So that is maturity to understand. That has to be understood. You follow now? Have you understood? Hello? Hello?
Yeah. Yes. I'm muted with this. Yeah, I understood. Yeah. And the
That
same
is
token,
we are talking maturity. We are not. We are talking of maturity. We are talking of wise behavior. See,
somehow I
supposing
feel it. Continue. Prabhu Garu, I find it very difficult to explain this to youngsters, saying that karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. And you okay goal IIT ravalan goal petkondi. Don't worry about it. Vastunda rada. Somehow that doesn't seem to be gelling kadane.
that మీకే అర్థం కాలేదు that మీరు ఎట్లా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారు
అదే కరెక్ట్ అదే
మీరు అర్థం కాదు కాబట్టి
people.
నన్ను అడుగుతున్నారు మీకు ఆల్రెడీ అర్థం అయింటే మీరు నన్ను అడగరు మీరు ఇప్పుడు అడుగుతున్నారు కాబట్టి మీకే అర్థం కాలేదు
అర్థం
సో
కాలేదు
ముందు మీకు అర్థం అవుతే మీరు తర్వాత వేరే వాళ్ళకి చెప్పడం అనేది మీ జాబ్ అది మీకు అర్థం ఇప్పుడు ఇవాళ ఐ కన్విన్స్ యూ ఇప్పుడు ఏమంటే ఐఐటీఏ తీసుకోండి ఇప్పుడు ఐఐటి తీసుకుంటే నేను స్వయంగా మా ఓన్ లైఫ్ లో చూశాను
Can you please talk in English, please, for the benefit of others?
In our own life, we can see, in my own family, I saw people who are preparing for IIT or IAS, things like that. There are two possibilities. Either they get selected or they don't get selected. Am I right? So now how many seats may be there? How many people can get selected? It's a small number. Those days it was 1,500. Now it may be 5,000 or 4,000. How many people are competing? 100 times that are competing. 5 lakh people will be competing or more. 100 times or even 1,000 times. So, IAS, for example, 1,000 times, 10,000 times, the number of seats people will be competing. So, do you mean to say all people will get? Do you mean to say I will get, or you will get, your son will get, or your daughter will get? Is it guaranteed? There is no way. Nobody knows who will get and who will not get. Now, supposing you didn't get, supposing you got, and supposing in the two cases you will consider. Supposing you got, you cannot insult a person who didn't get by 1 mark difference or 2 marks difference. So you cannot be so much elated. Those who get seat in IIT, I also studied in IIT. After going to IIT, the only day I was happy, of course I did MTech in IIT, the only one day I was happy was the day I was selected. From next day, first day onwards, after joining, I was totally unhappy. I was being subjected to torture. And a lot of people in IIT, even today, they take drugs, they go and commit suicide, all kinds of things happen. Why they are happy? If it is such a great thing worth celebrating, why it is happening? In IIT, the only one day I was happy was the day I got the seat. All other days, I was being tormented, tortured. Until I came out. After I came out, I realized this is a big hoax. I'll not say hoax. I know what it is. It's a big racket or scam kind of thing. So, same thing with IAS also. Those who got selected in IAS, No, once I'll tell you one experience. I went to Mussoorie IAS Academy to give a lecture. I went many times. So, but only one time, somebody in the audience, the IAS officers, a young man, he was throwing rockets at the speakers. Not only me, many speakers. So I identified him. He is a very brilliant man. He is a master's degree holder from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. And he was doing this. So normally people get upset and run away from them. I took a class to him and all others. Do you think you are great? If you think you are so great, what will happen tomorrow when you are posted in the district? You will be licking the shoes of your MLA. You will be licking the shoes of your minister. Am I right or not? I asked him. That fellow was totally flabbergasted. And I told him, I don't do that. I don't have to do it. You will have to do it. The fellow simply sat down. And after many years, when the fellow met me in a different location after his posting, he took me to his house. He said, sir, that day you told us like this. We remember that. That is a fact. So everything has got positive and negative aspects. Just because you got selected, it doesn't mean you have become a divine being or God supreme. You will have so many other problems. So everything is like that. You know, if you buy a property or if you buy a car, you'll have so many other problems. Within short time, that car will become outdated. If you buy a computer, within a short time, it will become outdated. You have to buy another. There is no end to the problems. So maturity demands that you don't overreact to things. Okay, fine. If something happens, you be mature enough to say, fine, it has happened. If something has not happened or something opposite happened, even then you should be mature enough to say, yes, it has happened. It's good. Because everything is for our own good. I mean, I can go on like this. I hope you understood what I'm talking. Okay?
Right.
So next.
There is a question. What is the difference among body, spirit, self, and soul?
Good question, yeah. Self and soul are same. Spirit is also same. Word, spirit, soul, self all mean same. Body is different. Body means, see the body. The body is continuously changing and it will die. It is born and it will die. In between it will be changed. So the owner of the body, the one who is residing in the body, he is the self. So the individual self, Jivatma, smallest self. And you are a self, I am a self, so many selves are there. Millions of them, billions of them. Animals, in plants, in everything. So all these individual selves, Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitaha, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitaha. So I am the same self which is appearing as many selves. He made a statement in the Gita, in the 10th chapter. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitaha. Though there are many selves appearing, actually it is only one self. How? Like water. If you take water in your house, in a vessel, or in tank, or in river, or in Gangotri, or in my house, or in North Pole, is water same or different? Contaminations are different, but water is the same. Similarly, Akasha, space. Space in your room, space in my room, space here in this lawn. All these spaces, are they different or all the same? They have to be same. Though the contents are different. So, though there are multiple Atmas in practice, which are having individual ego, individual attachments, individual identities, individual attributes, individual body, individual mind, individual karma, samskaras, everything, though they are all there, actually the self is the same. So, this is Jivatma, that is Paramatma. So, the word spirit, the soul, self, all means self only. And that self is individual as well as universal. So as long as you are limited in the individual self, you will be suffering the birth and death and the karma, effects of karma and the sukha dukkha, all the dualities. The moment you detach yourself from the individual self and you establish yourself established in the supreme self, that is God, you are liberated, which you are already. You are not different from God, but you are limited by your own ego as your own individual jivatma. Actually, you are part of Param. You destroy your individuality, and the first step for that is detachment. That is why karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshvara. The more you assume you have done this, you have done that, you are this, you are that, you have this, you have that, the more bondage you are getting. The less you get contaminated, detached, then more higher power you are getting. See, this is the secret behind Karma Yoga. Karma bandham prahasyasi. So you will be able to overcome the karma bandha, bondage. The very thought that you are so and so, you have this requirement, you have that desire, you want this. Your desire itself is the cause of your birth. Your desire itself is the cause of your miseries. So when you have no desires, that means you are fully satisfied because you are Purna. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. You are Purnosmiham, Aham Brahman. Then there is nothing for you. That is liberation.
Okay. The other question is how to teach Bhagavad Gita to these days young children at home in day-to-day life, which will imprint in their minds and inspire.
So first you have to teach chanting. There are two things which you can teach. One is chanting. You can chant, you can teach chanting of 12th chapter first. I also learned 12th chapter first. Because you are all old people, I started with second chapter. Otherwise, I have to start with 12th chapter. That is easiest to learn and it gives very simple things. One is chanting, other is meaning. So directly understanding meaning is not possible even for adults because they don't know Sanskrit very well. You should be Kovida degree holder in Sanskrit to understand directly the slokas of Bhagavad Gita. Only the meaning which appears on the surface. Deep meaning, interpretations, all that is different story. Shankaracharya gave a whole commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. And Ramanujacharya also gave, so many acharyas gave. There are more than 500 commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. So basic meaning you will know if you know Sanskrit at Kovida level or equivalent, even past methods don't go into that level. So one is the chanting process, the other is the meaning. So both are different. Both can be taught to the children starting with 12th chapter, 15th chapter. If you teach the second chapter or the first chapter at the beginning, he will run away. He will not understand anything. So the protocol says you should start with 12th chapter. But children, I also learned like that. At the age of 8, I knew whole of Bhagavad. Yeah, next.
There are no questions in the chat box.
Okay, now since there are no questions, so we'll meet again tomorrow. Thank you, sir, for today's lecture. Shall we now close?
Yes.
So let us request Chandelier-ji to chant Prarthana, please. Oh, is he there? 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, Chandelier-ji, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, now it has come. Swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahisaha go brahmanebhyah subhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshantu parjanyah prithvi sasya sadini desoyam kshobarahito brahmana santu nirbhayaha aputra putrinas santu पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधना सधना सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतम् సత్యం వద ధర్మం చర స్వాధ్యాయాన్మా ప్రమదః సర్వే భవంతు సుఖినః సర్వే సంతు నిరామయాః సర్వే భద్రాణి పశ్యంతు మా కశ్చిత్ దుఃఖభాగ్ భవేత్. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. ఓం పూర్ణమదః పూర్ణమిదం పూర్ణాత్ పూర్ణముదచ్యతే పూర్ణస్య పూర్ణమాదాయ పూర్ణమేవావశిష్యతే. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. సర్వే జనా సుఖినో భవంతు. స్వస్తి.
ధన్యవాదములండి షండిల్య గారు.
నమస్కారం.
ఓకే, చల్లా చిట్టిబాబు గారు జనగమన ప్లీజ్.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय
జై హింద్. ధన్యవాదములండి చల్లా చిట్టిబాబు గారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.